We are here with you now, Zach, and we wish to thank you for this opportunity to provide a space or platform for Atreon to share our wisdom. The topic of discussion for today's transmission is on the very common human challenge of feeling unworthy. Unworthiness is something that currently plagues the collective consciousness of humanity, and we see it to be most often at the root for most people choosing to hold themselves back from experiencing what they truly desire to experience in this life. When a soul, embodied as a physical human, chooses to see themselves as unworthy of God's love, God's abundance, and everything that is included within God's love and abundance, they are choosing to temporarily cut themselves off from what God would rather have them experience in full and complete sensory experience. The soul occasionally, and all too often these days, will choose to see itself as not worthy of love, not worthy of being, doing, having what the soul chooses to be, do, and have. And when the soul chooses to hold on to this erroneous or illusory belief system, they then create the experience of not having what on one level they want to. However, we say on one level because on another level, the soul does desire to see itself as unworthy. And so this unworthiness block, as you may call it, technically isn't a block. It can be seen as one. However, from the perspective of spirit, the soul is choosing on one level to create the experience of what it would be like to cut oneself off from abundance. And this is what it means to see oneself as unworthy. It's not that the individual or any one soul at any given time is objectively not worthy. That is not possible. The soul is choosing on one level to experience what it would be like to feel itself as separate from its creator through seeing itself as unworthy to create and receive abundance. This is what it means to see oneself as unworthy. It's a choice that the soul is making so that it can create a new experience in order to gain wisdom from. Because the soul, as we've said in previous teachings, only learns, only grows, only evolves through creating experience. If the soul chooses to see itself as unworthy, yes, it is restricting many experiences from it. However, it is also creating the experience of unworthy, and as a consequence of experiencing that creation, learning what it's like to see itself as unworthy. And so this is a very valuable lesson for this soul. These beliefs, these perspectives of seeing oneself, seeing others as unworthy, is not seen as negative from the perspective of spirit. It's seen as something that is technically neutral because it's seen as a valuable lesson for that soul to have, which is the only reason why the soul would choose to create that perspective of itself. Once the soul has then chosen to let go of that perspective, seeing itself as unworthy. Why? Because, well, it's gained enough experience. It's gained enough wisdom. Once the soul has chosen to let go of that perspective, it will then choose to see itself in a way that is closer to the way that its creator sees it. And when it chooses to see itself through the eyes of its creator, it will then allow itself a whole new range of experience to create on the earth plane. This is essentially the process of creation that every soul goes through. Every soul, at one point or another in its existence, throughout a myriad of life incarnations on various planes of 3D physical reality, will feel or will see itself as unworthy, undeserving of the totality of what God would truly wish for that soul to experience. And that is seen by God as valuable. It must know abundance. It must know worthiness through also occasionally knowing the opposite, the absence of worthiness, which is unworthiness. It must know fully and completely the full range, the full spectrum of worthiness by experiencing the full spectrum of worthiness. That is complete, total worthiness, and that is unworthiness. When the soul knows unworthiness through choosing to create experiences which reflect back the belief of unworthiness, it then has the firsthand experience to say, yes, I've now made many choices. I've experienced many things. Using this belief system of unworthiness, and having gained all that I can gain through those experiences, I now wish to create a new experience because I now know. And when the soul knows, the soul then makes a new choice. That's the only way that the soul decides to make a new choice. Once it has first completely and totally reached a level of knowing as a result of making continuous choices in one direction. It must continuously make choices in a certain direction to experience the consequence of those choices. And the purpose of repetitive choice making in the same direction is to allow the soul to experience fully and completely the result of those choices. When it reaches a point of experience in that one direction, it says, I now fully know because I've gained all that I can gain through making that repetitive choice. I now know. And so therefore, because I now know, I no longer have a need for making that repetitive choice. I can now make a choice that produces different results, different experiences, and leads to more wisdom and growth. So you watching this video right now who have once felt unworthy of what you consciously want to be, do, and have, all you need to do to simply change that root belief system is decide that you've learned all that you can learn from experiencing yourself as unworthy. You must know that you're not truly unworthy. This is a belief that you are choosing unconsciously to hold on to and to energize. So, are you done with feeling and experiencing yourself as unworthy? Are you done with creating a reality that reflects back to you the way you're thinking and feeling about yourself? And are you now ready to think and feel a new way about yourself, to become aware of yourself in a new way so that you can create a new series of life experiences that you would enjoy more? Are you done? You must ask yourself this question. This is what it means when someone says, I've hit rock bottom. It means I'm done. This is something that is subjective. Everyone does not have the same rock bottom. It is unique to the individual. And that awareness as to I've hit rock bottom is another way of saying I've learned all I can learn from making this repetitive choice. I now elect to make a new choice. I'm done making that old choice that I always have. I know where it leads me, and where it leads me is somewhere I no longer choose to go. So ask yourself, the series and set of experiences that I've created in my life up until this point, am I truly happy with them? Do I want to experience more of this kind of life experience? Because if you are not done, you can be certain you will create more experiences that match and mirror the same quality of emotion, the same quality of feeling that you've previously created. So, are you done? Are you finished? Would you like to create something new? You don't have to fully know how that's going to happen yet. That's not required at the stage of hitting rock bottom. Rock bottom is merely a point of awareness in which you say, I'm now done. Once you decide to use your free will in that way, I'm now done, all of a sudden you've opened up a new possible reality for yourself, because what you've just chosen is to end creating what you always have created. Once you've chosen to end your previous creations and say, I'm no longer willing to bring these creations into my next now moment, aka my future, you're opening up a new energetic space in your consciousness that is making room or space for something new to be created. For something new to be created, you first must let go of giving energy to what you have been creating previously. If you give your attention and energy to what you've always created, you're not opening up new space or potential to create something new. Because to create something new is only to give your energy to something new. So what are you giving your energy to, and have you been previously? Is this something you want to create more of? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Ask yourself these questions. If you're done, and you'll know by how you choose, it's up to you. You don't have to wait for life to get harder. You don't have to wait for things to get worse. It's up to you to make the choice. Rock bottom is your choice. Everyone's is different. What do you choose? Are you ready to start practicing new choices? Because the previous set of experiences is just a previous set of choices. So am I done making these choices? That's the question that you must ask yourself. When you become aware of that answer, you will then become aware of what you can experience more of. You will then have a understanding of what you will experience more of. If you say no, that's entirely your free will. Just be prepared to experience more of what you already have. Because the choice that you have in your consciousness is indicating to you the experiences that you will experience down the road. So if you're ready to choose something new and choose to see yourself as worthy of love, as worthy of abundance, then simply make that choice. As you make that choice, you will then start to become aware of new energies, new thoughts, new ideas, new inspirations, new opportunities. You'll start to meet new people, which create new interactions, new energy dynamics in your life. And all of a sudden, you've changed the timeline that you're now on. Because a timeline is only a set of repetitive choices. If you are making the same choices over and over and over, that's the timeline that you're on. That is the line of energy that you will experience in this 3D time-space reality. Your next now will be along the same lines, energetically and physically, of what your previous now was, because it's just the consequence of the choice that you're making. So you have to ask yourself, am I ready to make a new choice? All you have to do is be ready. As long as you're ready and you say, I'm now done, the rest is almost taken care of for you, because you've done the one thing that truly makes the change, which is deciding to use your free will in a new way. You've said, I'm done creating that. All of a sudden, your higher self, now having space to bring in more of its wisdom, more of its inspiration, more of its idea flow into your mind, now says, oh, good. So-and-so is done choosing to create more of that. Now here's a new series of ideas. Here's a new energy that you can become aware of. As you become aware of that, you start to get an impulse, a feeling. Yes, I'd like to create an experience around this feeling. And all of a sudden, you follow that impulse. You're creating an experience. You're meeting someone new. You're having new feelings. You're experiencing new results. And you've just changed your timeline. This is what we would encourage you to take from today's video, in addition to whatever else you have taken as valuable from today's transmission. This choice that you have to make a change in what you value. What do you value? Do you value seeing yourself as unworthy, or are you willing to choose to see you in a way that the Creator sees you already and has seen you despite your choice to see yourself as unworthy? What do you choose to see yourself as? If you decide to and seeing yourself as unworthy, you will automatically shift your consciousness into one that is more conducive to a more prosperous, more abundant, more joyful, more conscious timeline. This has been our transmission today on the reality of seeing yourself in a way that you choose so you can change your timeline. It has been our honor and privilege to share with you the wisdom of Atrion, and we look forward to our next opportunity. Be well. Thank you once again for joining us on today's transmission. If you are enjoying the wisdom of Atrion, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I'll have more teachings from Atrion and other beings of higher dimensions coming very soon. Be well.